Marketing. Everything is marketing. Every decision, it's like, what is gonna make people feel really good when they're here? You know, making the dopest pizza we can. That's our craft. That's what we do. But it's marketing. I want people to talk about it. I want them to come where the good pizza is. No sign out front. The spray paint menus, the spray paint sign. It's a message of, hey, we're focusing on one thing. That's the product. Everything else is an afterthought. And I think people really respond to that. It's like, I know I'm going here for the best pizza I can find, and it's these people have their priorities listed out for us. I just have this idea, like, people don't want more choices. You just want one great thing. And when you only have one or two things, you're so narrow and deep about it. It gives people confidence that you're the right choice for their dinner that night, because they know they're gonna get the best that you can do.
The following podcast is a Pie to Pie production.
Every slice tells a story.
After Dark.
This episode is brought to you by Maestro Sausage. Look out, Northern California. Sausage just got a whole lot better because Maestro's Italian sausage is now available through Buy Right. Don't waste time. Run, don't walk to Buy Right to get your hands on some Italian sausage made by Maestro. Slice is building tools now to support the independent pizzeria, and not just Slice users, but the independent pizzeria industry as a whole. Like us, they are telling the stories of the independent pizza shop owners and ultimately creating tools that help the small guy compete with the big chains. This business can be lonely, but with Slice, you can be in business for yourself, not by yourself. Flat iron pepper. When you pop these peppers, you are gonna know. You can smell it, you can feel it, you can taste it. They are liberating pizzerias from low quality pepper flakes. Stop finishing your pizza with crap. Head to flatironpepper.com and join the pepper flake revolution. The thing I wanted to talk about right away was intention, because it feels like there's a lot of intention here.
Yeah.
I feel like it says so much without doing too much. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like even the spray paint pizza, like the sign out there, like where you've decided to continue this project, the name being minimal. Yeah. It feels very minimal but complex, well put together. Like, how does that vision come to be?
Well, thanks. Though everything you just said is like the biggest compliment you could ever give me. Besides, like, hey, you have a really clean kitchen. That's another really good compliment.
Yeah, that's one of the greatest.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for saying that stuff, man.
Just pouring a little wine, baby. Thank you.
I mean, it's all intention. I've thought about this since I feel like I've been working to this moment since I was 15, deciding I wanted to be a chef. But this is the answer to like every problem I ever had with every restaurant I ever worked in prior. I knew I wanted a really efficient assembly line for a restaurant, hence this long line here. I knew I wanted to be as open as humanly possible, because I think that the theater of all of this is like half the battle. So when obviously you can see every step of the process here. You see how we store everything. The reason we have all glass door refrigeration is partly so the guests can see inside and just see what we're fucking with, and also we don't have any hidden corners that are dirty or anything here. So I want to just communicate that. And then there's also this thing of like visual management. So our manager can walk through and just see exactly what we have without having to dig through the walk-ins or anything like that.
Obviously, this is coming after getting shut down. Mm-hmm. I don't even think I got to see a picture of the storage unit, but the whole thing sounded dope as fuck. I'm also making a lot of assumptions. I've never met you.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Yeah. Now we've met.
Even when I looked at pictures and it's just a fucking red door. It's mm-hmm. It's like you're creating lore.
Yeah.
You and I don't know if you're meaning to do that. I mean, like intention with the furniture that you make. It was the red door on purpose. Like this long open kitchen that just like it does look like an airport, like an airplane wing.
Yeah.
The whole thing feels different. So when you get here, and then also if you want to cut me off at any time, because it's all going to lead into another thing that I want to ask about, which is like that you have to deal with this hype
Yeah.
But like when you sit down and you think about it, like, did you always think, I want this kind of thing to be yellow, I want this blue black light stuff? Like lighting and stuff is very important to me too. Like the way you use like these things that you would see at a club.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. It's all intentional for sure. Deep thought and conversations into all of this. Like, why don't we have a sign outside? You know, partly because I didn't want to pay the sign permit fee. Like, we were about to open up. I'm like, fuck, like another trail of paperwork just to get a sign out. And then I'm thinking, like, no, like the more we can make this feel like you're lucky if you found it, even though we're not trying to be a secret at all.
And that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It feels like when you walk in here, there's nothing outside, and you walk in, you're like, holy fuck. Like,
Yeah.
this is dope.
Dude, it's all marketing. Everything is marketing. Every decision, it's like, what is going to make people feel really good when they're here?
Yeah.
You know, making the dopest pizza we can. That's our craft. That's what we do. But it's marketing. I want people to talk about it. I want them to come where the good pizza is. You know, no sign out front. The spray paint menus, the spray paint sign. These are all just decisions on. It's a message of, hey, we're focusing on one thing. That's the product. Everything else is an afterthought. And I think people really respond to that. It's like, I know I'm going here for the best pizza I can find, and it's these people have their priorities listed out for us, you know? Yeah.
But you do it like, you're also like creating that experience though with these kind of like bizarre, not bizarre, but more unruly touch points, which was like with a spray painted sign, with no signage outside, with just a red door. Like it feels like you're kind of like part of this secret.
Yeah,
know?
a little club or something. Yeah.
I mean, do you is there lines? Is it hard to get your pie?
Yeah, there's definitely lines. And it's just been we had that first initial hype wave, which was like stupid. There was like big lines for a couple weeks, and that mitigated. But now it's like ramping back up, and every day there's like a line of people waiting before we open. And then it just stays busy all night. And I'm trying to figure out ways to like, you know, I'm sure you've been through this. It's like, what's going to make people happier? Do I open for reservations? Do I put a rope out front and keep the line outside so it's nicer in here and it's not such a shit show inside?
Yeah, keep the chaos out.
Yeah. Or is it nicer for people to wait inside? You know, I don't know. To answer your question, yeah, I think we're still in that hype phase, and it feels real good, but it proposes a lot of interesting problems. Like how do like crowd control, you know? And you were talking about just the mental exhaustion of talking to 2 people a day. Like connecting with people is exhausting. And when there's a lot of people who all want a piece of you in here, man, you give a lot of yourself away. Like, yeah.
I mean, it's every conversation to really be there, present, and then while you try to work. I mean, we made the joke this morning, like I'll like intentionally hide from certain people because like it's just like I feel like I don't have the 15 minutes. The bandwidth is over. Yeah. You know.
I know we're getting way far away from your question, but we're touching on something that I'm really wrestling with right now is like, you know, you're a business owner. Everyone wants to say, hey, I know this guy and all that. And you're friends. And then they like trash your dining room or they piss on your dumpster or, you know, and I'm like, you give so much of yourself, but also, okay, you gotta draw a line. It's the public. Like I can't be so emotionally involved in every person because they're not treating your restaurant like it's their house. They're treating it like a public space. And oftentimes it's a little disrespectful, you know? So I'm like, I can't get mad at you for letting your kids smear cheese and sauce all over everything because you're just the public and we're here to serve the public.
Yeah.
But also I do this acting thing sometimes and I feel I'm like giving myself away on publicly, but it's like, it's acting. I'm like, hey man, how are you? It's great to see you. Like, how was your trip to Tahoe? Like, I'm like, it's just part of what I'm doing right now, like as the restaurant owner. Kind of rambling, but
no, you're not, dude. You're like you're explaining something that is very real. I mean, we talk about like there's a certain amount of entitlement. I think most customers are sick. like they come in, they're stoked to have the food, but like there is a certain amount of entitlement to your time, to your facilities. And like, yes, we are here to serve people, but like we talk about mental health in this business all the time. And sometimes we miss that. It's not just the long hours, but it is like showing up, or like somebody shitting in your parking lot and you having to pick it up with your hands, or somebody shitting on you figuratively online. You know, and these are all things that you don't stop thinking about. Right. You take you whether you say you do or not, you take these things home, and it takes a little piece of you. That maybe a little energy from that day. Maybe you wake up, you know, give a shit about it, you know, the next day. But it's trying and it's hard.
And you mentioned online for a second. That's a whole nother animal of like people just taking little pieces of your soul, unless you have a really firm barrier up. Like just those. So that means the good comments can't mean anything, because the bad ones can't mean anything.
That's right.
So it's just the public. It's different than real life. It's a lesson I'm learning as I go.
Oh, I think everybody is. I mean, to really just bog down and believe what you're doing is right. And I think I've done personally on my journey, it's been so much more about the team. And if the team believes, I believe, then really like nothing else matters. You know? And like the and it's mostly positivity. I mean, you're dealing with something I've never dealt with before, because I've never ridden a hype train, not yet. Knock on wood, let's go. Bring the accolades. Go, you know what I'm saying? But you know, with that comes expectations, and you know, there's word of mouth. People are saying all these things, and then you know, is that something that you've struggled with in this situation? Like people that travel here, or like they can't get in, or they don't really know how this works.
The pressure from that can be a thing. I think it's just gotta be really clear on the promise you make to the public. Right now, the promise I make is, you know, you come in here, we are doing our best to have pizza for you and get it out in a reasonable amount of time. Like but seating, it's like, I didn't promise you a reservation. Like you got to find a seat in here. You know, we're open 5 days a week. So if you came on a Tuesday and you're pissed at me because we were closed, it's like, that wasn't part of the promise I made. Like it's on the website, you know? It's just, I'm trying to make everyone happy, but also being really real with the fact that you can't make everyone happy. So just focus on what would make you happy and try and nail that. And that's the best you can do, you know?
Do you feel like you're nailing that?
We're doing a darn good job.
Yeah.
I definitely go home every night thinking about something we screwed up, you know? Right now my biggest challenges here are like managing, just trying to get great results out of everyone who works here, and everyone delivers really hard. I'm like so stoked on our team, but definitely like learning how to work with people, especially with my two managers who are so freaking good. But we oftentimes have different ideas of what perfect means. And I'm trying to empower them as much to run this place without me, but it gets awkward when I come in. I'm like, well, this is what I think. And then another one will be like, well, but I think this. And just managing those personalities and those relationships are challenging for me.
Of course. Like, so when that happens, what is the correct answer? Like, you know what I mean?
Dude, I mean, we're just finding, so Brandon, my CDC, absolute operator. Our big thing now is just, we need to communicate more. Like, we just need to sit down for an hour every day and make a point just to talk. Even if we don't think we have anything to talk about, we got to talk more, because oftentimes we find ourselves just on a different page and something didn't have to be an issue, but if only we had talked about it, you know? How do you deal with that? Like,
dude, what you just said, I think that you can have so much trust and love for somebody, but like the minute you kind of cut off communication, it's what you just said about, you should sit down. You have to sit down. You can't just be like, how's it going, side by side doing work. You literally have to take the time to sit down, and you might not, at first I'll be like, I don't have much to say. I don't know what should I even take that. Once we get down, we're always sitting down for at least 30 minutes. So there's always something to talk about. And I always say more communication is better communication. Like that's how a restaurant starts failing, or people start feeling resentment, or somebody's not feeling seen. It's because you guys, like, no one's talking and communicating. When I take a trip like this, or like I'm not in the shop, I need to make sure that like everyone's good. Are we good? Mm-hmm. That means constant communication. Do you find it as crazy as I do that we put the best ingredients in our pizza, our dough, our cheese, toppings, fresh produce, and then we put pencil shavings on our tables called red chili flakes? What is a red chili flake? We found out about Flatiron premium pepper flakes from a customer who actually brought us some. We were putting it on every slice we ate. It was gold. We were like searching for it like addicts in the back, just like, ooh, where's the Flatiron? Where's the Flatiron? There is no going back. When you pop these peppers, you are gonna know. You can smell it, you can feel it, you can taste it. The 4-pepper blend, which is actually the blend we have on every table at Hot Tongue, definitely has a higher heat level, and I'm a heat guy, if you know what I'm saying. It has the arbol, the jalapeno, the ghost, and the habanero. Spicy. They are liberating pizzerias from low quality pepper flakes. Flatiron pepper, you are going to know the difference. In here, real peppers from Italy. Let's go. Head to flatironpepper.com right now. Use the code PIE2PIE at checkout. That's PIE, number 2, PIE at checkout. And any order over $25 is going to get you a bottle free of the sweet heat. Put that sweet heat in your cart, and any order over $25, that baby's gonna be free. Do not miss this chance to upgrade your pepper game. Head to flatironpepper.com right now and join the Pepper Flake revolution.
What's the structure of your company? Like, do you have one manager under you? And
I have a GM and basically an assistant GM, and then we have 2 shift leads. Cool. And so it kind of... I definitely meet with Michael and Andrew, and then I'll meet with the shift leads too, and just see, hey, what's going on? Do you need help? I've been doing this for 15 years. Shit. Some of these people just started shift leading and dealing with people. Yeah. Like you said, whether it's the public or your team, if you've never done that, that's a fucking tough job, dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Telling a friend what to do is, there's no other position people get in. You start working with your friends, and then you kind of like, you raise up in the ranks. It's a little different. You go from going out with your friends to telling your friend like, hey, that's a fucking tough transition.
Definitely, some friends helped me open for sure, and especially in the first go around. And it's just, there's some awkward moments, you know. Luckily, they're still great friends, but it definitely required some mending of bridges. Of course. You know?
I guess that's like setting like proper boundaries.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I think, and I'm sure I love the team that I have, but I do feel like to get where I am emotionally with empathy and understanding and letting everyone fail has taken 15 years. Yeah. I was a fucking dick.
Yeah.
And I have been a dick.
That's a beautiful statement, man.
Yeah, well, I'll never forget. I had an employee come up to me one time, and like I thought we were super cool, and like they haven't been working for me for a long time, and they're like, yeah, like I'll never forget that Friday night, or like that Friday afternoon we had like that 50 pie catering order, and I've never, like, you made me feel like such shit. And it's like, fuck, we had so many great times, and that's what you remember after you know what I mean? Like,
dude,
that's rough.
I mean, I'm thinking about a time I was a dick recently. Like, me and that chef we were talking about, Brandon, this guy has like laid his life down to help open this place. He's crushing 13 hours a day, 6 days a week. But we were butting heads, and I was so maxed out, and I felt just so pulled tight. And this is months ago, and I fired back. We had some words, and I fired back at him in front of the whole staff, and I was just like, rah, rah, rah. And and we I was so frustrated. I'm like, man, like, do you even want to work here? Like, we had that conversation, and it was this huge blowout. It was this moment of deep reflection of like, whoa, Craig, how are you acting towards your employees? What did you do to push this guy to get to that point? Because you feel mad, but he feels mad too. Like, and I guess what I'm nudging at is this experience of opening a business has been so challenging, a welcome challenge, but so challenging in so many different ways. It's not just operationally or how to make good pizza. It's like, I'm like searching deep in my soul about how to empathize with people and not just get results out of people, but make them like enjoy walking through this door every day, you know, and really think deep about how I come off to them. You know, am I communicating clearly? Am I fair? Am I giving someone special treatment? Why am I doing that shit? Like, you know, like, I guess I am giving someone special treatment. I never thought I would be that boss, but look at me, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a trip, man.
To have that self-awareness and self-accountability though, is like, we've touched on this on other pods a little bit, but it's like, I always say, like, if something's going on or something's going wrong in your business, go into the bathroom and look in the mirror. Nice. And like, that's who you have to blame. But like, it's so hard to look at yourself and be like, I'm the problem. I've worked for so many people that never did that. Mm-hmm. It was always, no one wants to work. That person's problem. Like, this, I can't believe this is happening to me. And it's like, yo, you're running the ship.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You're making me think about something. All right, so there's this restaurant in Oakland called Koons. Mm-hmm. And I loosely know the owner. I met him once through a friend. Super, super nice guy. I don't know who did the Instagram post, if it was him or someone else, but essentially is they're closing. It's hard to run a restaurant in Oakland. They're shutting down. They put out this big manifesto Instagram post of like, essentially was fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Here's why it sucks to run a restaurant in Oakland. Here's when all these times people didn't show up for us. Here's all these challenges. You know, got no backing from the city. This place is riddled with crime. There's no police. There's, you know, downtown is dead. And that's why we're closing. And if you come in these next few weeks, don't ask us for anything. It's rude. And then at the last sentence, he just said, see you in hell. And like, that was his out, mic drop. Gah. So that statement, my first reaction was like, whoa, you're saying everything I'm thinking.
That just gave me goosebumps because I was like, I probably know where that guy's is.
You're right. It's so hard.
Yeah.
And it's so thankless. We were talking about the public before. Like, you don't have the same rights that you used to as far as how to deal with people. You just get screamed at, told to go fuck yourself.
Spit on.
And and you just got to say, thank you, because you just want their money, you know? Like, but the flip side of that is what we were talking about, which is I'm watching someone pointing outwards, going, this, all these things I'm pointing as a reason that I'm not having success in this location right now. And I never want to, as true as that was, and as sometimes good it must feel to just keep it real like that, F you, I'm out. It's like, I never want to be pointing outwards. I'm always like, everything under this roof is my fault and my doing. And it's like, if we're failing, it's, what did I do to cause that? Was it a marketing issue? Was it a personnel issue? What am I lacking? You know, maybe it was a matter of like pulling the cord on that location earlier and going to open somewhere else. I'm not speaking for Koons anymore. Respect them, it's your thing. But I'm just always trying to look inward, to your point.
Yeah.
It's all your fault. It's all my fault. If we're running the business, like, it's no one's fault that something bad happened except for yours.
As fucked up as that is, like, pill is hard to swallow. It's like the most empowering thing though, too, because if you're looking for reasons why you're failing, and granted, I don't know this person's situation or anyone's situation, there is situations where it's like, man, maybe we can't come back from this. Maybe it's not the right place. Location is a deal. But I mean, you could also argue that, like, was this the greatest location for a pizza spot?
Yeah.
But if you take on the power, like, what are all the things I might be doing wrong? I think you're in a better boat.
Right.
Because getting angry is the easy thing. I'll fucking get angry all day. And then you have to stop yourself and be like, is this my ego? Is this like a lower self situation where, like, I just need to fucking rise above, think about it in a different way, and take a breath? You know, because it's so easy to give into anger and frustration.
Dude, and ego is the big word there.
Yeah.
That's the root of all this, because it's so hard to be like, external bad thing happened, couldn't be my fault, so now I'm pissed at, like, traffic or like something, you know, like, but to remove the ego from that, it's like, all right, like, let me look at the true reality of what's happening. What do we need to fix?
Yeah.
Yeah, ego is a hard one to get away from. And I don't know if that's just in the culinary industry where egos are prevalent or it's everywhere.
Well, I feel like ego is everywhere.
Yeah.
Because let's say you use traffic, for instance. Like, listen, if you're pissed at like you start your day yelling at fucking people, wake up 10 minutes earlier so you don't have to trip. So who's the issue's gone.
Right.
Then you can listen to an audiobook for 10 extra minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe learn something, chill out if there's a little traffic, problem solved, you know?
Dude, that's the hardest part about being like late for work. Say when you're like 3 minutes late, you're like, you did it to yourself.
100%.
It's no one's fault but yours.
Well, not everyone thinks that way. But yeah.
It's like not traffic. Yeah, traffic's there sometimes it's not. But you could have made a practice to always come in 10 minutes early.
Yeah, or you can change any day. Every day is a new day.
Yeah.
POD said it, man. And then with a restaurant, I think it's kind of fucked because like there is a bit of a hierarchy, and then like everything you watch on TV and movies, how it used to be. I think kitchens are getting less toxic, but I mean like it's a place that kind of like some shitty things get like. They slide because it's kind of like, well, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I welcome all these things. Like I wouldn't change this reality right now. All these super hard challenges we're talking about, I'm just like, good. Like,
bring them on.
Yeah, I'm 35. This is the time in my life I'm supposed to be challenged like this because I'm trying to be like a rad dude, a rad business owner.
Yeah.
So hard is not always bad.
Yes. Well, yeah, I would argue like hard is what makes you better.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, it's come a long way. I don't know the exact story of how June's came to be or why you even started making pizza. I know it was a pandemic birth, right?
Yeah, in like 2019 to 2020.
So there was pizza happening prior to COVID. You were already doing this.
So I remember I was building out this shipping container place, not really knowing how to do it. Then COVID hit. So like that March, whatever that date was, I lost my private chef job. They just told me like, can't come in.
That you made like a fair amount of money from.
Yeah, I remember I saved up $23,000 and I opened that shipping container pizzeria with that. But I wasn't planning on opening for some months. But then COVID hit, lost the job, just started selling takeout.
And were you like? I revisited the podcast, but I remember listening to the iDrift podcast and thinking like, yo, dude, I have so much anxiety. I'm pretty anal. The fact that like you were just like, you know what, fuck the health department or any permitting, like, and you said that like it was a joke between you and your friends that was like, this is gonna get shut down at some point. Like
keep going.
Yeah, like did you worry about any of that, or was that just kind of in the back of your mind, like, yo, we're just gonna do this?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it like a worry. Because the investment was low, it was $23K, and I didn't borrow. I just had it. I saved it myself, and it was doing what I wanted it to do. One, I was like learning how to make good pizza.
Yep.
And then we caught this great momentum. It was like this awesome marketing tool for our future. People liked it. Got some great little cult following. And it's like that. I just need to be doing that, and whenever it got shut down is whenever it got shut down. And I knew I'd always use that momentum to build to what we're currently sitting.
Some of us in the pizza industry might only know Slice from the online ordering app, which is still around, but Slice is doing a lot more these days. They're building tools now to support the independent pizzeria, and not just Slice users, but the independent pizzeria industry as a whole. They're telling the stories of pizza shop owners, creating resources, and ultimately products that help the smaller guy compete with the bigger chains. Slice now has an integrated POS system that's specifically designed for pizzerias. They're doing stuff like SEO, marketing, and full website build-outs, along with custom box pricing that you are going to get probably way lower than what you're paying for right now. They have a ton of resources for every owner. Buying power is a huge thing, especially when you're talking about big chains. And what Slice allows you to do is negotiate with suppliers and vendors to get a lower rate. That's what the Slice network allows. There's 24/7 tech support for customer care, and an extension of your staff is what they call it. This business can be lonely, as you all know. if you listen to this podcast, but it doesn't have to be. With resources provided by Slice, you can be in this business for yourself, but not by yourself. I don't know if like, I talk about intention, thank you, but to have the vision of being like, I'm gonna use, and the story is incredible. I build out this shipping container, it gets shut down, and then I rise from the ashes, baby. I'm back in Oakland, baby.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Did you, I mean, that was, you could see that. You could see that was going to be the vision.
Yeah.
We're gonna get shut down. That's fine. I'll do the right thing at some point.
Yeah. I think almost always that was the vision.
Did COVID make that easier?
I don't know what exactly COVID did. I just know it did something.
Okay.
Like,
All
you
right.
know, like
I usually try to like not talk about COVID.
yeah, it's just, I don't know if it was like right place, right time. It's this cool moment for takeout pizza.
Yeah. Well, everyone kind of wanted an experience. you know,
Yeah.
because we were all just fucking sitting in our houses rotting.
Yeah. Yeah. It became this thing where my cell phone number got dispersed and people just call me, hey, can I get a pizza at 4? And I'm like, yep, gotcha. And that was the start of the business.
Yeah.
And then we just refined that essentially. But yeah, I think it was the unique time of COVID that allowed our little shipping container thing to become nice for people. Mm-hmm. It also kept the health department at bay for a year and a half, I think.
It's pretty sick.
So it let us do that for a while.
What happened to the shipping container?
It's like a pottery studio now or something.
Sick.
Like someone moved into it. Yeah. So it's just, yeah, that I didn't get any return on investment for that or anything. I didn't own the container, but
Well, I guess like the return on investment is like
it's the
moment.
Yeah, the moment,
Yeah.
that story.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's priceless.
Of course.
I wasn't trying to nickel and dime people for the vinyl flooring I put down in it or anything.
Yeah.
I got what I needed from that moment. So
Again, being able to only sell like the margarita pizza and then whatever special you have, that's also, to me, it's like killer. If I could go back, honestly, I would do something like that. It would be super intentional. This is what we're making. It's like the same vibe with Chrissy's in New York. It's like, this is what we do. Do you do 16-inch pizzas too?
18-inch.
They're 18s?
Yeah.
You wanted these ovens. You want to do wood fire. It's all your way, you know? It's and as a chef dude, man,
Yeah,
as a man dude chef,
that's me.
It's got to be, as a Michelin star, former Michelin star.
Yeah.
Was that a hard decision, or was it kind of like, yo, we're gonna concentrate on this one thing, and then I can kind of go off, and we'll have specials,
Yeah.
so that things don't get stagnant.
Yeah, it was definitely the vision from years before ever opening. I was like, if I open something, it's going to be the simplest thing anyone's ever seen. I think I just have this idea, like people don't want more choices. You just want one great thing. And when you only have one or two things, you're so narrow and deep about it that it gives people confidence that you're the right choice for their dinner that night, because they know they're going to get the best that you can do. And I think that's often gets, when you have the 10-page laminated menus at a restaurant, it's like, you're telling me you give a shit about all 80 things on this menu? Or some of these lost in the back of your lowboy, and you're gonna like, oh fuck, we got one of these fired? Like, all right,
dude, that's
opening this. Like, all right.
Yes, that's every kitchen nightmare. He goes right to the kitchen, fucking pulls out the chicken, and he's like, this is fucking bad, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but to be able to have the self-restraint, because a lot of people, they don't understand that putting 8, 12, 16 pies, like, even if you can execute it, you're not going to be able to execute every single. You might be able to execute every single one of those, but then when you have a team of 9, that's when like things are going to fall through the gaps.
Yeah.
Like, to have that self-restraint, was there anybody that you saw that did it that way, or was it always like, we're going to be good at this one fucking thing?
It was like most like street food stuff I was
Okay.
thinking about. Like if you go down south and of the one guy selling barbecue brisket, and he's legendary in that town. It's like, go there, go get this brisket. No one's thinking like, do they have salads or what's he got for dessert? You know, it's like, I'm going here for this brisket, for this taste experience.
Yeah.
People say it's nuts. Like that's what I want to be. As how much of a business could I build just around that? You know, and then it's also a matter of like my own capabilities. Like I'm not that great at like running a business. You know, I'm learning. Like this is all I can handle right now. So, and yeah, I definitely wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
It's almost a zero waste facility. Like nothing goes in the garbage here except for like doughs that we accidentally rip holes in. But because it's so limited, we can like perfectly order, you know. And when it comes time to change a special, it's like everything's been portioned out already. It's very calculated. We like gracefully run out of the last thing, then put on the new special, and like nothing gets thrown in the trash. So the small menu allows us to do that,
And which is like incredible.
Yeah.
And cost saving.
It's sick.
The dough process. I see a lot of dough. You're working with sourdough. I see some fucking huge cheese wheels.
Yeah.
I know you'd be shredding that on the crust. I forget where was the inspiration for that.
I remember I did a stage. If I'm being like really transparent about it, I did a stage at Flour and Water. Are you familiar with this
That's
restaurant?
right. Yeah, I remember you saying this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a badass restaurant I have so much respect for. And they had this beautiful pasta dish that they just grated an egregious amount of cheese on top of, like a microplane. And just the confidence I saw in that. Like, okay, you make this beautiful pasta and then you completely buried it in parm. I was like, that's audacious, confident, so intentional, and delicious.
Yeah.
Like, let's do that with our pizza, you know?
Yeah, there's this place called Donna's in Echo Park, and like they just shred so much Parmesan on a Caesar salad that like you don't, like when it gets to the table, you don't see a leaf.
Yeah.
But like it's decadent, it's beautiful, it's lovely, and it's not too much somehow. I don't know how it works, but it's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, but you think about like if you're stoned in high school, like raiding the fridge, like that's something I would make.
100%.
You know, just like more cheese, like ranch, like aged balsamic, like you know, like that's so you want to. I think as a food business owner, I'm always trying to appeal to like the stoner in all of us and also the refined foodie in all of us too. And I think we walked that line a little bit here.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That was beautiful.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. How big's the team here?
So we have 15 people, including me right now.
Okay, so pretty large.
And yeah, right now it's the prep crew that's really getting bigger because it's just the volume's going up. Super grateful. Knock on laminate. And we're just like, we're just struggling to keep up with production.
Has that been like the hardest part since September? Just kind of nailing that in.
Yeah, and figuring out what sales are going to be because it keeps increasing, and I'm so grateful as I say these words because not everyone's like that. But you know, Brandon, the CDCs, he keeps reporting back out the morning. It's like, dude, I'm maxed. I'm like, all right, let's get another person in here, and it's good for a minute. And he's like, dude, I'm maxed again. Like we need more help. You know, there's just so much cheese to slice and portion and so much dough to make. And so we're trying to figure out exactly how to make that prep force happen and figure out exactly what we need. So we'll see what the future holds.
I feel like that's a good problem to have.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's like the idea is working. Like I have these really surreal moments with my team and my friends too, where I sit there and I'm just like, it's working. Like, I don't know how you felt. Like, do you feel like you own a business yet? Like, like I'm sure you might. Well,
I do feel like
right.
I do feel like it just because, probably for different reasons, but yeah.
I'm just struggling to feel like I got this. Like, okay, we're profitable, awesome.
Yeah.
The number in the bank count, albeit not tremendously, but it is growing. It's not shrinking. but I'm still waiting on like the bottom to fall out.
No, man, I
It's
think
something
what's
broken.
really special is that what do they call it? This doesn't happen all the time. So it's going to be, I think it is harder to kind of come to grips because you're told too the story of a restaurant, you know, and like let it be said, like you're still, there's struggle there, but like to open up to be like in the black and like the growth is good. It's like so much of like what you did before is so important. Like the story, all this thing translates. Like not everyone opens up with that amount of success, or like the hype just dies. And it's like I think it's really beautiful, like to be able to like to sit next to you, hear this story, and know that like this can happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it happened for a reason. Like it's the same thing with like I read about Chrissy's. I list about Chrissy's in New York.
I just only know the name.
Okay, Chrissy's in New York is like they got lines around the corner. They were a apartment pop up, but like there's a story there, and that the pie is good. It's intentional. It's like people want an experience. This is a fucking experience. They get an experience and they get an incredible pizza.
Yeah.
Not everyone can create that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're really nice, man. Thanks, dude.
Well, I'm serious. Like everyone you can make pizza. And you know what also works is just like the almost like the I don't give a shit. The I don't give a shit stories are amazing too.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, man, I just took over this place. I make cheese, pepperoni, sausage, and and they got lines down the block. They're the fucking sickest pizza ever. There's always going to be these things. Like you're a unicorn. You're a restaurant unicorn. Does that make you feel weird that I'm saying that?
I mean, I feel like I'm half like, hell yeah, that's so nice of you to say, and like, fuck yeah, I did it. But the other half, I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, this is gonna fail. This could fail just as easy as any restaurant, you know?
Well, it can.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong. Like that doesn't like that. That's why it's like anything could happen. But I mean, to open up with the success, the growth, that's all a testament to everything that you've done, right? But there's also other factors like right time, luck, all these things.
Yeah.
There should be no imposter syndrome because that's what people have a problem like, oh, I don't deserve this, or like, I feel weird, this could end anytime. But we tell ourselves that story. But it's like sometimes right place, right time, and like you just fucking hit.
Yeah.
It seems like you're hitting multiple levels of that. Even to hear you, like, dude, when I listened to the What's Good Dough podcast, like you sounded a little down. Like it was like a rough time for you.
Dude,
let's go back to that. Like I'm giving you all these props and like, yeah, business is good. We just opened up in September. But listen, like, where were you at then?
Yeah, thanks for asking. That was a really bad time.
I'm glad you're I'm glad you're sitting here, dude.
Right? No, it's so crazy because that podcast, we recorded that like just after the business closed, I think. And I had just gone through like kind of a rough breakup too, and like I was just like
gnarly.
Yeah, I felt like I was just like wandering around in like the ashes of Dresden, like, where's my family? You know, like just I was really depressed. And those days where you just don't get out of bed for a day and 2 days. And then all of a sudden it's like day 3, you're like, I should probably get out of bed.
100%.
And I look back on that now, like it's way in the rearview mirror, and I feel like grateful. But that was really challenging, and then but still trying to like always thinking, okay, got to rebuild June's. The second we closed, I was like, got to rebuild June's. So I'm not going to go get a full-time job somewhere. So that kept me super poor. So I was like, I kept little odd jobs going while I was working on June's full-time. And so I was just like treading the poverty line the whole time, like physically hungry, and just facing a lot of rejection, like looking at dozens and dozens and dozens of places, just walking around Oakland on foot, calling every for lease sign I could, knocking on every door, sliding notes inside business doors like, hey, would you ever be interested in selling your restaurant? And just getting told like to F off, like over and over again. And then finally found a spot, and then then I started looking for investors. And have you been through this process before?
No, I'm an idiot. I spent most my own money. So
Cool.
Yeah. I wish I would have gone.
Really?
Yes, dude.
But
yes.
you own it now.
Well, yeah, I will one day.
Okay.
When it's paid off, hopefully. Mm-hmm. No, I will. I need to stop saying shit like that. Yes, yeah. I will. If your sausage needs aren't hitting all the right notes, then let Maestro lead the way. Maestro has been working closely with pizzerias for decades. They produce sausages designed specifically with pizzerias in mind. And you can tell their Italian sausage crumbles look like they were handmade in your shop, and they will taste that way as well. With over 80 years in business, family owned and operated, the family is incredible, and so is their product. It's quality sausage with quality ingredients. Click the link in the show notes. A classical masterpiece awaits you. Back to the show.
So we did a hybrid thing. I raised $660K via investors. Beautiful. And then I took out a $250,000 loan through this local lender at like a 3% interest rate, which is like really
Holy
great.
Shit.
It was like the special program they wanted to incentivize restaurant action in this part of Oakland specifically.
I love it. It's incredible.
So shout out to Main Street Launch. But like, yeah. But that investor process, it was a bear, man. Like asking people for money is weird, especially when you're like getting, and I oftentimes get like laughed out of the room. Like come to people so unprepared. But every person that I went to, I like sharpened up my game a little more for the next person. And eventually I got one. You know, I remember that 35K, someone like signed on, he's an old customer. And I remember driving away from that meeting just crying like, okay, I can do this. I got one person to invest in this thing. Like I can get more. And like slowly but surely, it's mostly all old customers from the first thing. Just I put out an Instagram blast, got a lot of responses from that, and slowly I found 13 investors. And those big moments, you know. And I didn't know that kind of money existed in the world so naively. Like, why would someone give me money?
Isn't it unbelievable though? Like once you have it, and it's like you're just like spending it.
Yeah.
You like start writing checks for your your build out, and you're like, yeah, what's another $12,000?
Right. Yeah. I mean, those diffusers, the vents right in front of the hood vent.
Yeah.
Some mistake that happened in planning to get them to be a round shape like that cost me $5,000 more than if they were square.
Yep.
Okay, I don't give a shit about the shape of those diffusers, and I just learned somehow that I lost $5,000 like that. And I'm like, $5,000 would have changed my entire existence 6 months ago.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
And now I'd lost it without even knowing it.
Well, it's a different ball game when you're dealing with $700,000, $800,000.
Yeah.
It just goes. They're like,
yeah.
Hey, listen, we accidentally installed this pipe 2 inches wrong.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you $2,500.
Yeah. You're
For like, 2 screws?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah.
But then you don't even know what that means.
Yeah,
and it's not even your money.
I'm like Googling shit. Like, what? Yeah, what's a nephelometer?
Oh, yeah. Well, that part you don't know what it means. And also, when that much money is put into your life, you don't know what the money means anymore. Mm-hmm. And it's against this primal instinct in you to cut checks for $50K. Like it's not, you're like,
yep,
here you go. All right, $200,000 to my general contractor.
Yep.
It's like feels weird and like should I put this in an envelope or something?
Yeah,
like is
there a
like
suitcase?
Yeah, do I like gold leaf this thing? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, it was a bizarre exercise.
It is. It's a good exercise though.
Yeah.
You know what money is? It's fear.
Oh, go on.
I think money is fear. It's just like because it's like this thing that you're taught. You know, money doesn't grow on trees. Mm-hmm. You know, like all this, like it's kind of ingrained. Save your money, blah blah blah. Being a business owner, you have to. Most business owners have to go into debt. Mm-hmm. You simply a little bit, some a lot. Depending on like what kind of foundation you have or what capital you can get. Mm-hmm. But if you can get over the fact that you can do it, you can get the money and you can pay it back, or like you can work something out, or you can get on terms. Once you get over the fact that like you can do it and you stop limiting yourself, the fear kind of washes away because it's just a number.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, you're gonna have to raise capital for any restaurant.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to spend money. But it's scary. Sometimes even talking to somebody, they're like, I could never do that. And I go, listen, your pizza is amazing. I already know so many people that support you. You would be really surprised if I bet you asked 10 family members and 10 friends, and I bet you could get that money.
Yeah.
But then it's scary because it's like no one's ever dealt with 60,000,
right.
100,000,
right.
350,000, $700,000.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I'll never forget writing like a $137,000 check and being like, I know the money's there.
Yeah.
But is this gonna clear? And then it just like, it felt bizarre.
Yeah.
But it's because it's like a limiting mindset. You just think that like either you're undeserving of it or like, what the fuck? How did this come to be? Or how am I gonna pay this back?
Yeah. Undeserving of it. That's the interesting thing. Like, because I suppose there's some people who this is just the way they move through life and they know they're deserving of it. They know exactly what's going to happen. What's up with us where we feel undeserving of this?
That's limitations. That's limitations we're putting on ourselves. It's feeling like bad. It's even feeling bad for like when you have success or like, I don't know. It's really weird. It's like as pressure you put on yourself, at least for me. I'm talking about like, I don't know where it comes from, but it's bizarre. Everyone is deserving of happiness, especially when you're telling the story about what a dark place you're in, how like you're hitting the streets, you're talking to like anyone you can about leases and stuff. You raise the money yourself.
Yeah.
These are all things that you don't know how to do.
Right.
You just
making
do
it
them.
up. Yeah.
You make it up as you go along. No one gets that.
Yeah.
That's why it's like I can have this conversation with you and I can be like, oh yeah, you've had great success in like the first 6 months of being open, but let's talk about the fucking hard part when you couldn't get out of bed for 3 days, and then you created your luck.
Yeah. Yes, dude. And I hate that bootstrap comment of like, why can't everyone just pull themselves up by their bootstraps? Because everyone can't. And my favorite quote is like, I think someone's interviewing a homeless person from Oakland, and he goes, bootstraps? He's like, I don't even have feet, motherfucker. And like, that's real to me. But I'm like, okay, I do have feet. And I do, as humble as I can say this, and with all the lucky things I have in my life, it still was so challenging. And I do have a feeling I did pull myself up by my bootstraps because I was lucky enough to have some bootstraps. But man, like, so yeah, why do I feel that imposter syndrome, even though I really like had to kill myself to open this place? I earned it.
Yeah, you 100% earned it. And like, I don't know, like bootstraps, even if you don't have feet, well, then use your knees.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like your problem can't be everybody else's.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a victim mentality is going to kill you in this business or kill you in life.
Yeah.
You'll go nowhere. Your potential is at your potential. You're cutting your potential down.
Yeah.
When you don't believe you deserve something, you're already, oh, I could never do that.
Yeah.
Well, you just told yourself you could never do that. And then 2, it's like, it's not my fault. It's because like, you know, I don't have the right boots.
Right. Right. Yeah. I think if you go, oh, it's not my fault, this other thing's keeping me from doing something. Okay. Like you just defined your limitation. You'll never move past that.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, we could talk about limitations all the time. I think society, you're kind of like told this is what you should do. In school, they're not like, if in school, they're not saying, go open up your own business. Here's how to balance the checkbook. Here's how to like work this thing. If you want to do this, you can do this. Yeah. You're kind of like, if you say that you want to open up your own business, like people kind of look at you like you're crazy for the most part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or it's like, I don't know.
I think about like, how did you How did you learn how to get an LLC, or if you are an LLC or whatever? How did you learn to structure your company? Or how did you learn how to take out a loan? Just off the seat of your pants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seat in our pants. And then, dude, I made so many mistakes. I paid, did not do taxes correctly. I've cried so many times.
Yeah.
To myself on the phone. I still do it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a crier, but I've had some serious pain, especially in the first 3 years of being a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that comes out in this podcast, but this podcast is supposed to be something that like kind of empowers people and you talk about kind of like the shittier things, because I don't think it was being talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice to like meet you or like people in LA and be able to you bounce something off like, oh yeah, you say something, they're like, wait, you have to do a prepayment for sales tax, and you're like, yeah, and they're like, oh, I didn't know that, and then they go back and they talk to a bookkeeper or their accountant, and they're like, oh, fuck, dude, I owe $14,000. And it's like, don't worry, dude, I've been there. You can get on a payment plan. There is no one ever there for me.
Yeah.
A lot of the times I called my sister and my brother-in-law, and all they could say is, listen, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's going to be okay. You're going to figure it out. And that's all I needed to hear.
You believe that?
I believe that. You have to believe that.
And it's true apparently.
Well, it is true, because
right.
what's the worst case scenario? Okay, they're going to put you on a payment plan if you missed your taxes, or like there's always going to be a way to figure it out. Worst case scenario, like another thing about money is it's like there's so much fear surrounded by it. Like when my friend explained that he went bankrupt, he's like, it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
Like, you think going bankrupt, like that's why billionaires and fucking millionaires go bankrupt all the time. It's like or they bankrupt their company.
Yeah.
It's there for a reason. What, your credit's ruined for 7 years? Is that gonna be the worst thing that happens to you? Like, there can always be something worse. When somebody dies close to you, that's what happens. When there's a fire in LA, that's why you have to be reminded by these things, because you get so enveloped in the rat race of everything. Yeah. You forget that, like, oh shit, the most important thing to me is right next to me, whether that's Matt or my kid or my wife. That's what's important.
Yeah.
You can't take that away. And if you did, then we really have a problem.
Yeah. But
that was a rant.
No, that was good. I don't know. I feel really connected to you in a lot of ways. I just think like you open this pizzeria just with an idea in your head. You weren't some big corporation that opened a bunch of restaurants. And now you're pushing this podcast. And all I see is a guy who's just out there putting work into the world where there once was nothing. And I just respect people like that so much. You know, I get really irritated with people who try and trash or cancel other restaurant owners because of something they heard, hearsay. I'm like, get off their back. Like, this is you know how hard this business is? Like, okay, maybe they fucked up the tip structure or something, and then they got a SF Chronicle article written about them about what a monster they are. They're trying. They're not trying to shortchange their employees. Like, it's
Well, I'm very sympathetic usually to those situations, because the narrative. There's also so many things that the public don't understand about how a restaurant works. So it's like when narratives like that, like it's like, let's tell the whole story, and those stories usually don't get told.
Yeah.
And once you write an article like that, if that is like that you were like withholding tips, that person's career could be over.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a soft spot for creatives. You know, it's a bold, courageous thing to like try and put work into the world, try and look at your life, be like, I don't like this. I need to change it. I'm going to go invent this thing, and hopefully it gets me out of this funk. Like, people who do that, like, it sounds like you did. I feel like I did. I'm just like, yeah, I get it. Like, good for you for feeling like you could do that and pushing through that garbage pile that took you, that, you know, like,
yeah, but
to get there.
Again, like you talk about your story, it's like I was like, I've been in some of the darkest places, but those are like, and I know those are always, even like last year was not the greatest year, but I know that it's like, enjoy this, man. You are gonna look back in 10 years, and this could be the coolest fucking part of your career, and you didn't even know it. You were just so concentrated on this one thing that was going fucking bad, and that was your decision. So like, get comfortable in the pain.
Yeah.
Enjoy the fucking pain.
Yeah.
It ain't going away. The only thing that's going to change is I'm going to get older and I'm going to be able to deal with the shitty stuff better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the shitty stuff, owning your own business, unfortunately, that's what you bear. That stuff doesn't go away. It's not comfortable. And if it is, it's going to be comfortable for a while. And then there's going to be a shitstorm.
Yeah. 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 I like that. Getting like, kind of, I think there's a quote in The Office or something. He's Perfect. Like, you never realize you're in the good old days while you're in them. It's like this first 6 months of opening June's Pizza, it's been nuts. So hard, but also like so engaged, so switched on, highly creative minds, just always tweaking. We're always changing things in here, building that crazy office up there. Like it's so
sick.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, it's so goofy, but like this is like a very, very engaged moment in my life, and I think it's really valuable. Sometimes these challenges get me bogged down, but it's like, thanks for saying what you said, because I have to take stock of the fact that this is a really rich moment.
Oh, 100%.
Like this is the goods. I'm alive, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to pinch yourself. I mean, like it's to even think about sometimes, sometimes you get open and you forget that this was just a room.
Right.
I just remember sitting in Hot Tongue and being like, this was here. This was in my fucking head.
Yeah.
And now I'm literally sitting in something that I envisioned. This is not everyone gets to do that. Not a lot of people get to do that.
Yeah.
It's so real.
Yeah.
And it's something that like everyone should take note of and pat themselves on the back doing something like that. You know, and then once those doors open, it's kind of the public's. Yeah. You know, which is hard to see.
Right.
But I mean, if I can only imagine, I would be sitting up in that office just fucking like busy crowd, like just taking it all in. I'd sit in the back room and because the space comes alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a very surreal thing.
Are you still part of the day-to-day operation on any given days of the week? Are you fully removed from the operation of pizza making?
I'm fully removed from pizza making. What was the
time? I mean, it's been 15 years, but what was that timeline like? I'm sure you had to be there constantly for a little while.
For Hot Tongue,
yeah,
and for Purgatory, it was about 5 years. For Hot Tongue, it was November, so basically 2.5 years. Yeah, and again, I am blessed to have such incredible friends and a team there. But I am a strong believer that like I do a better job seeing things outside of me than being inside of the kitchen. Yeah, because because you see things differently in the kitchen. I can see a bubble in the dough. I can see that I don't like the rise, and then I can see that maybe somebody isn't using the exact proportion of the sausage, and that's something I get hung up on. They're like, yo, there's fucking 36 tickets on the board. Why are you getting the whole team over here just to nicely say, hey guys, like to make sure you like, no one knows those things. But no one cares about those things either. Yeah. That's why it was kind of like, I'm growth, and it was the same thing at Purgatory. People cannot grow if I'm there all the time.
Yeah, and
that was the biggest lesson I learned, was getting out of the kitchen, and I should have got out of the kitchen quicker at Purgatory too. I'm
really taking this to heart. You know, it's something I have. Like we have these conversations all the time, like me and my two managers, and yeah, we kind of came to that. Like, Craig, you're pretty darn distracted while you're here. Like people want to talk to you, and you got your eyes on all these little things. But if you're gonna work dough stretch or you're gonna work ovens, we just need a person that's eyes are there on stretching dough. Yep. But I'm doing this
100%,
and they're getting frustrated with me because I'm a distracted line cook at that point. Yeah, but I like what you said about once you get out, other people can grow faster.
Oh, and they do, because when you're there, everyone's looking kind of at you.
Yeah.
So regardless, like, dude, when I got out of when I finally like took a break at Purgatory, the two general managers. We had two general managers. It was banging at that time. It was going very well. They instantly had kind of like, I think they could both breathe a little easier. And it's like, okay, now I'm really in control, because maybe there was this false sense of being in control, because even they would have to, like, they'd look over, even though they needed to make the decision. They needed to be able to fail. I always talk about, like, so many times I fucked up. I fucked up so bad on orders. I fucked up on the dough. I fucked up on people's pizzas, on putting a deferred order in the wrong time, like on a 75 pizza order. I did all those things, but no one got to know about them. You know what I mean? And so then it's like giving somebody grace when they make those mistakes, to make sure that they know how fucked up those mistakes are, but you never make those mistakes again.
Yeah.
But it's, it's kind of like allowing those people to have those opportunities, even if it hurts your business.
Yeah. Grace is a good word, man. And that's it. And act, right? So you step away, your manager's make a mistake. You would have made that mistake if you were there. Just let them make it.
Yep.
They're learning.
And then the goal is you get to come in and say, hey, no problem.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have that. You just fucking ate yourself up the whole night or the fucking whole week. Like, I'm a fucking idiot. And then you get to be the person that's like, you know what? That's not a big deal. Yeah. I made a mistake way worse than that. Yeah. And this isn't going to change anything. Maybe we lost X amount of dollars. It's going to be okay. And then they get to they learn, you feel better. You both made the same mistake. Everyone wins.
Yeah. How would you, so I'm like, I got questions. I'm like, anytime I get in front of another restaurant owner, I just have a million questions in my head. So I hope this isn't off your podcast regiment. But
no, this is how it's supposed to go.
Sick. Right on. Right on. Like, what would you say your role is now? Because that's something I asked myself. Like, Craig, what's your ideal role at June's? If it's not working a station, is it working in the dining room every night, or is it being fully detached and just looking at a spreadsheet of how your business is doing? No. What's your role right now?
I go in, like I'll go in. I'll do all my emails. I'll talk to people. I'll do the communication check-ins. I'm still tasting everything.
Yeah.
I'll get on the line and make a pizza. Make sure like everything is going in. I'll still make adjustments. Feel the dough. Maybe make some adjustments to the dough. And I still tinker. I don't know about you, but I don't think I'll ever stop tinkering.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's the fun part.
Yeah.
Like,
but you get so fucking far away from what's fun. You get so far away from that when you are like working inside of your kitchen and managing your kitchen, that all the fun parts, like it's just like all the shit that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so making sure there's consistency, and then process and policy has always been a huge thing. So that when I'm not there, everyone has the expectation is clear, and the accountability is clear, so that everyone knows what we're doing, what we want to do, and everyone believes in it.
Yeah, and so that process and policy ultimately comes down from you. You train your tops, and it trickles down.
And that's their biggest thing. That's the biggest. And the biggest thing is I was like, listen, I can care so much about this, but you guys, if you're not going to use this cheese scooper, no one else is.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Like, I'm dead ass serious. It's not even about money. This is the exact amount that's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
You know why I know that? Because I've done it 1,000 times, and this is it. I know you think it's stupid for us to put an 8-ounce ladle of sauce and then this weird spoon, but this is the exact amount of sauce that we need.
Yeah.
Like, please do it.
Yeah.
And listen, they don't always do it.
Yeah.
But that's why I'll be there and I'll be like, Michael, I know you make
Yeah.
better pizza than I do. I'll let you know. You are an incredible pizza maker. If you don't do this, no one else will.
Yeah. Dude, that's it.
Yeah.
I was just hanging out with an old friend of mine who's a father of 3 now, and he also manages kitchens. And his response to all these things, we were just laughing about it. He goes, why do we do this? You know why? Because I'm not trying to retire when I'm 100. And that's his only answer. It's like, just because, like, we're all working towards the same thing here, folks. Like, we're trying to make a good business. Like, and I'm not trying to retire when I'm 100. I just thought that was the funniest thing, but
Yeah, unfortunately, in the restaurant industry, that's when you retire.
Yeah.
When you're 100.
Yeah. Do you think you'll ever retire?
I don't think so. I don't ever want to retire.
Right.
Whether I'm like doing something outside of the restaurant, I think I'll always be tied to the restaurant industry. But like, no, dude, I think when you lose purpose, like unless I was blessed to have like a huge family, and then maybe that's my purpose. But I don't think I'd want to stop working. Yeah. I think I love being an entrepreneur. I love like new experiences. Yeah. I do love it. I love the risk and the people in. That's the thing I fell in love with. I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm over the public. Mm-hmm. The public is really tough. They're tough. I'm pretty sensitive, and like I'm still working on myself, but I still struggle with the public. But the people in this industry, I have a deep love for. Whether you're a line cook or an owner or whatever the fuck you are, it's tough and it's rough, but it's magical and it's important.
It's a crazy business.
Yeah.
It's like, I was hanging with my girlfriend who largely was in the corporate world, also a marketer. But I was like running around. I pulled up a bunch of service mats and I like lugged them over my shoulder and I put them here. Then I mixed some leaven, and then I answered some emails, and she's watching all this and she's like, what a weird ass job. It's like kind of white collar, but also it's so blue collar. It's a trade. So like part of your day it's as much admin work as it is like interpersonal development, and also it's like manual labor all in one.
Well, dude, there's so many fucking hats that you're wearing.
Yeah.
It's like, it's insane. And that's why it's like when you talk about like your team being like, hey, like you can never really 100% be there. Mm-hmm. You're not allowed to 100% be there. And then this is another thing I struggle with sometimes, is being present. You can never 100% be anywhere.
Yeah, right.
Because you're thinking about X, Y, and Z. Yeah. And so it's like, it's fucking tough.
How's your balance right now?
My balance is very good.
Yeah.
But being somewhere physically doesn't mean I'm always mentally there. Mm-hmm. And I think having a kid like really helped me with that. Like, it's pretty cliche, but I think that like, and I've said this before, like all the books that I read and shit, it's like of people that I've admired, like they always say like, I never wish that I worked more. Like I always look back and I wish I would have spent more time with my family. And like that really hit hard with me. Like I feel like the job of fatherhood is like something that I needed to take more importantly than any restaurant job. And that has only helped me, because watching a 4-year-old say something or do something that like takes me back to the meaning of humanity.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Why?
Yeah. And it's very humbling every day to hang out with somebody that is that prolific, that genuine, that honest, that like raw human being. Yeah. And trying to take that into your day-to-day life has just been fucking life-changing.
Dude, I bet, man.
Yeah.
So you have a 4-year-old?
Oh, 4-year-old. Dude, I'd love another one. Boy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you a good boy dad, or you think you'd be a better suited girl dad?
Dude, I just wanted the experience of like what it would be like to be a girl dad. I was like, I kind of thought like he was gonna be a girl, and I was like low key disappointed. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I was just happy to have a happy baby.
That's great, man.
Yeah, life is weird.
Yeah. What do you think of just some random shit popped in my head? Do you ever watch? It might have been a Chef's Table, some documentary on Nancy Silverton. And
sounds like Chef's Table.
Yeah, and she's telling the story when she opened her first restaurant and she was pregnant, and she spent like a day in the hospital, then like went back to work the next day. This conversation has nothing to do with anything, but whatever.
Good. Those are my favorite.
Yeah. Like, what do you think about that as someone who's had a kid? Like, is that a mixed up set of priorities, or is that create level of discipline what her success comes from, and that's warranted? Like, what do you think about that?
Well, I think like everyone's journey is different. You know, I fucking definitely respect it. I mean, if she gave birth, just watching a woman carry a child and everything that they have to go through, I think if she as a mother wanted to fucking have a baby and get back to work, that's a strong person. Yeah, that can do that. Yeah. as to like how that psychologically works with the child, like I don't know. But to each their own. I think it's regardless beautiful in both ways. But I just know that had to have been tough mentally.
Yeah.
But people, that's the weird thing about humanity is like everyone has such a different perspective. That's why you are truly living in your own world.
Yeah.
No one thinks exactly how you think.
Yeah.
No one thinks exactly how I think. And I wish we could see more of that where it didn't have to be like, man, Craig, you have to see it my way.
Yeah.
Or listen, you're not seeing it my way, so I don't really want to be friends with you. Like, let's just meet in our common ground, like on our common ground, and be okay with having differences.
Yeah.
It's really tough these days, man.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Totally. I think living in a city is a weird thing.
Yeah.
So many differences. Like, I come from a pretty suburban, rural area in New England, and like everyone looks the same. Everyone kind of lives just about the same. It's just pretty basic in a beautiful way. Sometimes it's annoying, but then you're out here in Oakland, San Francisco, and it's like, man, there is like every kind of person in like 5 square miles here, and like it's really interesting, and to carry the knowledge of every kind of person. And I think for a while, especially throughout my 20s, I really tried to like empathize with every kind of person. It was like listening to too much like Moth Radio Hour or something. I'm just like, I have to really care about
everything.
Rich people, poor people, black people, white people, and I don't, these days I'm like, you know what, Craig, like you're doing okay. Like, worry about your life. Know that you're living around a lot of different cultures and the strata of economic classes here. And I tried to position my business in a way that serves the most of those people that I possibly could.
Yeah.
In a way that I'm still proud of.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like Domino's $5 12-inch pizzas. Of
course.
But it's still pizza, and it's not fine dining. That serves like the 0.01% of people. So
yeah.
I like the swath of cultures, economic class that I can hit with this one restaurant. But yeah.
But you can't like, I mean, that's good. But I think that like the thing is you're doing your best.
Yeah.
And I think that like, that's all you can do is you do your best. And then like, if something comes along that maybe like pushes against what you know or how you believe, I think, again, we opened this up about listening. It's like, I think listening is really powerful. And sometimes once something is said that somebody doesn't like, we stop listening, and we miss a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Even if it's not everything, but we can't turn off like that. You obviously, I don't think trying to be the best for everybody. You have to be the best for yourself, but be willing to change.
Yeah.
Isn't change hard though?
Crazy hard, dude. Right now I'm really trying to we're talking about empathy. I'm trying to empathize with my mom, June.
Such a sick name.
Yeah. I want her to move out here. Like she had a stroke years ago, and she like lives with live-in aid, and her life is getting like degrading in a kind of an alarming way. And I'm like, Mom, there's assisted living communities out here. I'd love to get you out here. And in my mind, it logically makes perfect sense. You'll be close to me. We'll have coffee every day. I'll just be more in your life. It's safer. You have all this care, all this socialization, all this stuff. But she's pushing back against me. And for a minute there, I was like, why would you push back against this? It's like cheaper than how you're living now. And it's like, everything is better. But that change is what freaks her out. And I had to really put myself aside and understand her point of view. It's like, yeah, like, yes, it does logically make sense, but it's like, even though you have no one left in Simsbury, Connecticut, you know what the trees look like. You know what the roads look like.
Her whole world's there.
Yeah, your doctor is there. And pulling you away from that means more than just leaving that that house that you're in, And
yeah.
like,
and that's tough too, because that's a more ingrained change, because that's a surrounding. There's habits built around all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, we could I'm sure we could we could use this on other things, but I mean that change, it's change is a bit of death in itself.
Yeah.
There's a part of you that you have to say goodbye to or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, your mom's, is there no family back there?
There's some, but it's just, she doesn't see a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, the parents getting a little older thing has been an interesting curveball in my life, and how's your family? Like, is your parents around still?
Yeah, they're both around.
Yeah.
I think they're like 65.
They're doing okay?
They're doing all right. Yeah, they're pretty active. Yeah.
That's sick. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm very, very lucky to have them both around. But is your dad around?
Yeah, he's a different story.
You don't want him out here. Fuck that guy.
No. I love my dad.
Okay,
I love
all
my
right.
dad.
It's not. What's your dad's name?
My dad's name is Joe.
It's not called Joe's.
It's not called Joe. Yeah. No, my mom just needed a tribute, But yeah, no, yeah, parents are tough. So yeah, I think my day to day is like going nuts here. But meanwhile, I'm getting texts about my family, like on the phone call with like an assisted living community, like talking to my brother, like, hey, what happened to mom last night? Like, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, fuck, our pizza box order didn't come in. And like, oh shit, somebody wanted to order 15 pizzas at 4:00. Can we do that? Like, it's just like,
yeah. Where's the balance?
Crazy, man.
How do you balance that?
I've been getting good at like compartmentalization, which I think is something I never used to be able to do. Just like putting everything into not very overwhelming boxes, seeing them for what they are, what its consequence actually is in my life. Oftentimes not that much.
Yeah.
When you really think about it, and I can just put it over here and get back to it later.
That's a hell of a skill.
Yeah. I think like Lexapro helps a little bit.
100%.
That's like a new thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started smoking weed a little more because I always had like alcohol's always been like a thing in my life.
Yeah.
Even though like I don't want to be sober, but I always knew I wanted to drink less.
Yeah.
And I think introducing a little weed into my life has balanced that out a little bit. And I like the edge that it takes off.
Of course.
It's not such a shut off like drinking. Like when you drink, it's just shut off. Like,
it goes somewhere though.
Yeah.
It's never really shut off. Like you drink enough, it comes out in a very dark way.
Yeah. I think weed, I find myself able to take the same problem and just deeply ruminate on it.
Yeah, it's a bit more, it's obvious, well, it's not a bit more, it's very introspective usually. Yeah, it can be.
Yeah. So these things have been helping me. In a good relationship now, that's a big difference.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
Very supportive.
So supportive, dude. Because like what a selfish life I live at this moment. Like this many hours in this building, not a lot of time for anything outside of the business.
Are you good at like not talking about it all the time, or is it?
I'm gonna say no. I talk about it all the time.
Yeah, it's like it's like really hard.
Yeah. Like
because there's always like a usually pretty good story to tell too.
Yeah,
you know?
good story.
Yeah.
New idea.
Yeah.
Oh, like I was just thinking, like, what if we did this?
Yeah, dude.
But I think I'm lucky because my partner really vibes out. Like I said, she's in marketing, and I'm just like, to me, everything is marketing, as we talked about.
Yeah.
So we talk about everything, and I really love her point of view. So it's working out, So that's been a nice regulating factor in all of this. Yeah, so we'll see what the future holds.
Are you like a future thinker? Do you like to set goals or like have the idea of what that looks like? I mean, It seemed like you knew this was happening.
Yeah, I feel like this is like phase one. Is open this, get that going, fine tune it for a couple years. Like just really learn how to make the most money per square foot as you can in this 2,000 square foot space. Get a team, like get your training systems like locked, like make this thing really just a wonderful business. And then future thinking, I'm really into like, how do I support this idea? what we talked about earlier. You know, what else is out there?
Yeah.
What does growth mean? Is it mixed media? Is it podcasts? Is it a farm? Is it a pepperoni factory? You know, like.
See, these are like today. Jared said like maybe I'll like it was like maybe tongue in cheek, but he's like he started looking into like getting a mill to like do like to be able to do fresh milled flour like in San Francisco, like a pepperoni factory, a farm, a t-shirt line. You know, like we talked to Pizzanista Salman, like he has almost like a full on skate shop in one of his like there. It's again that limitation for you to even be like. And us to talk about like what else can you do outside of the restaurant? I mean, not everyone play your strengths. If like you're the guy that's going to be in front of the oven for the rest of your life, and that's what you want to do. Yeah. Because there is that guy. It's like, yo, I went to that fucking place. I never had a bad goddamn pizza. Yeah. You know why? Because fucking Tony was always working the oven. Yeah. That's where he lived and that's where he died. Yeah. Like here lies Tony. Yeah. Rest in peace. Like with the Baker's Pride oven thing. Right at his gravestone. But there is a lot of different things you could do.
Yeah, and what to do is the interesting question.
So what do you do?
Well, I've asked all kinds of people this, you know, and my favorite responses are like, just do what you think is rad. Why does it have to be more than that? It's like, I grew up skateboarding and I love skate videos. I'm like, I kind of want to get into like some film stuff. Like, how can I tell more of a story about this brand by like exploring the world of film? Does that make as much money as scaling into another location? Hell no. But
you never know where that goes though.
Right.
When you start doing it and like you put out like a skate video-esque fucking like, you know?
Yeah. And it's beautiful because you think it's great.
Exactly. Well, that's where it has to start. Like, it's like it also could just spark something. It's like exciting. It's like anything really creative. And then like somehow it helps your pizza. You know what I mean? Like everything kind of helps each other. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope I just die like never feeling like I sold my soul for anything or like I spent all my time working towards things that I know I like to do, and I wasn't just looking for safety or a paycheck. Yeah. You know? Because it turns out, like, safety isn't safe. Like, working for a safe corporation, well, that corporation could sell to Amazon, and you could lose your job. And, like, you know, putting all your eggs in someone else's basket is a really challenging thing for me. I think it's safer to open my own thing. I'm in total control, you know?
And even if you are lucky enough to work at a place that pays great and for your whole life, you know, it sucks as regret.
Yeah. 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 Which I don't think I'll like have too much. I mean, of course I'll have regrets, but yeah, I feel like I'm doing good in the regret department.
Do you have regrets like recently? Like, I'm talking like strong regrets. Like, man, I really wish I would have fucking bought Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's not that. Yeah. It's funny. Like, I'm a guy who like really like effed up high school.
Hell
like,
yeah.
I don't care. I just suck at school. But like, I don't regret that.
Me neither, man.
Because it's like, I like where else it went.
Everything I'm not, maybe everything I am.
That's my favorite Kanye song. Yeah. It's I just like this. I'm really proud of myself for having like an open mind. Mm-hmm. And I think the open mind led me to find some success in non-traditional places. Mm-hmm. And it let me go like school, like, yeah, they're going to tell you the traditional path is the safest and that's how you should go. And I love saying like F you to that. Yeah. It gives me power.
Of course.
Punk rock power.
It validates a lot of things. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, regrets, like nothing glaring. But, you know, sometimes, I don't know, do you envy people with more money than you? You don't?
No, because money doesn't equal happiness.
Yeah.
I think what money does is it provides comfort, but it doesn't make you not lonely. It doesn't make you not depressed.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I feel like the whole lore of it would. You just get like humans are dumb because you just get accustomed to everything. You want all these things, then you have it, and then 2 weeks later you want something else.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah.
Would it be nice? Would it be dope to have to hit the lottery and have 21 billion or a million?
Yeah.
I don't even know if it would be.
Yeah, right?
Because I don't know if I like that's a change that like your brain isn't even wired. I'm not even wired to have Instagram in my pocket. You know, I'm just trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I'm like, again, I'm just trying to be happy in where I'm at right now, and I gotta say I'm pretty happy right now.
it's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Look at what we're doing.
Yeah, this has been dope.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think about that. Like, I remember when I was first opening up, some investor type sat in front of me. He's like gauging if he wanted to invest because his mind, he wanted to open up a franchisable chain of pizzerias.
Yeah.
And I was just down to hear. I hear a lot of these people out because I'm interested in efficiency ideas. And like, what's your mind work like? But he's like, what are your financial goals? I was like, I don't know. I gave him a number that apparently was like laughably small. And he was like, no. You want to be making this much by this time. Here's how we're going to do it. And he's trying to like blow my mind with his big thinking.
Fuck yeah, dude.
But I appreciate all that. I do. And like, maybe that's a thing in the future. But the other part of me is like, I think I just need like enough money. I just don't want to be limited to like activate the ideas in my head. But more than that, and like and feed a family or something, stay safe, retire. But like more money than that, like millions and millions. I'm like, man, if you make more than like 300K and you can't do some dope shit in your life with that, like you're not creative enough.
Yeah,
you know?
well, unfortunately, I live in Los Angeles and you live in San Francisco, so it might be like 500,000. You know what I mean?
Right,
like if you
500.
don't have half a million, like, but
Sure.
you know what I mean? Like it's where we're at. But I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But is it 20 million a year?
No, I don't. It's not for like more, but a level of like I would like fuck you money.
Yeah.
Where it's like I don't have to give a shit about any influencer.
Yeah.
When somebody comes in, I can just be like, "You're a fucking asshole. Get the fuck out of here." I want that money.
Yeah.
I want to have businesses where I can empower a staff where it's like if somebody is a piece of shit, you say, "Fuck you, get out of here."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't do that. And what are the repercussions? Well, if it closed down, all right, everyone gets paid for the whole year. Like whatever, but like I'm a big firm believer that I wish that more of us in the restaurant industry were able to say "fuck you, get out of here."
Yeah.
And normalized it. But I want fuck you money.
Yeah. That's an interesting story. Are we supposed to tell people who are jerks, fuck you, get out of here? Someone came in yelling at me 2 days ago because there was people parked in the bike lane. And this person was livid.
I already love this story.
Yeah, just dropping F-bombs, telling me what an irresponsible business owner I was. She's going to report me to the Better Business Bureau, like all this shit. And I'm like, am I allowed to tell this person to like F off right now? Or I can't, or I don't want to poke a bear.
Yeah,
Also, like I have nothing to gain from that,
absolutely not.
but it would feel really nice.
Yes, and maybe not fuck you, but like, listen, lady, go report me.
Yeah.
But please leave.
Yeah.
You're making a scene.
Yeah.
Do you see all this that's going on here?
Yes, it's like, I don't
You see
care.
this? I don't care.
Yeah, your bike lane, like
yeah.
it's like, all, like just turn around the car. I
Yes.
don't know what to tell you. Like,
Yes, you're making whatever. I'm sorry with whatever you're dealing with.
Yeah.
We don't have time for it here.
Yeah. Dude, that's why, like, we have Sophie and Edith. They're two girls who work the register here.
Yeah.
They're so good. And, like, the amount of people they talk to every day is intense.
I bet.
And, like, I'm like, that they must be tired. And they're like, yeah, it's a lot.
100%.
Like, it's just so many, like, what? We don't take cash here. Because it's just
You guys are
dangerous.
classless.
Yeah, right. I'm just
We
trying
know
to
what you're doing.
supporting the banks. I know.
Yeah.
It's just like all my peers have been robbed.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of West Oakland. I don't even have a safe full of cash in here. And I don't want to
Seems simple enough.
Yeah, but
do I need to explain that to you?
But I pay these like poor Sophie and Edith to just field that question 180 times a night.
But you get good at it. you
Yeah.
know? People don't think about work enough of that being an addiction either.
Totally.
You know,
Yeah.
burying yourself in that.
Yeah.
When you were like in a pretty dark place, did it help to get out of bed and start working on Junes?
Yeah. Yeah. It was the activation energy that was challenging though. It was like, once he got working, I could like sustain it and I felt good and it compounded on itself. But just that to get there, which is usually like logically very easy. It's like, dude, you just need to open your laptop, answer that email. And I just couldn't, you know, and then like a week would go by and it just like the depression would feed on itself. And all of a sudden people are like, Craig, where are you? You know? But
what is the cycle of that depression? Did you get help?
no, I mean,
Professional
I was
help?
talking to a therapist here and there because I felt like I really needed it at the time. But it was literally just, I think I hit a wall of like, Craig, your life sucks. And for you, it sucks. Like and you need to change. Like what you've done, you're 34 at the time. I'm like, what you've done to get here hasn't served you well. Look at you. You're an alcoholic. You are so depressed. You have no money, like none. And my car got jacked. And like, I was just like, and like do something different, like change your life. And that's what all this was. It really, that thought kicked me into high gear. And like the first thing was like, I started running. And I haven't ran since college or high school. And that just forced something out of me.
Are you still running?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. That's my meditation now. And then the other thing is like, an old friend asked me to come hang out with him one night. He's like, hey, we're going to a rave.
Fuck yeah, dude.
You should come. I was like, I don't do that. That's for people who aren't like me. Like, I don't fuck around with that. He's like, just come. And finally, he twisted my arm hard enough where I went out. Ended up meeting my girlfriend that night, but like loved it. Tried some drugs that go along with settings like that for the first time.
You do MDMA?
Just Molly.
Yeah. Molly.
And it was just like, it just changed everything. And I was like, wow, I really like dancing. I'm a good dancer. Like, I love this. And it just opened up this whole new world. And all of a sudden I got really tight with this group of friends that I met there with my girlfriend. And like, gosh, simultaneously, like things started to materialize here. Coincidentally, but like just kind of saying yes to things you used to say no to really changed me around.
It's just crazy that you have one night that can kind of like open up a whole new chapter. I mean, that's how life works.
Yeah.
You know, if you're open to it without like freaking out all the listeners, you know, like energy is a real thing. And if you want to be receptive to good things, they will come. Maybe it takes a little longer and there's always suffering. Life is suffering, but it sounds like the door was open, or at least there was a creek.
That's all I need was a creek.
That's all you need. And you went through it. And that night obviously had a huge impact.
It was sick. Like I hadn't done anything social for like 6 months prior to that. You know, it was like I was in this dead zone. I'm trying to give my mom some of this medicine right now too. It's like, Mom, your life has really gotten to a pretty critical point right now.
Yeah. Because
you refuse to do anything uncomfortable. It's like, I think it's time to try a little something uncomfortable. It's going to serve you well. So that's my message that I'm trying to push with her right now, because I think we could really change her life for the better. It's kind of like that episode of Seinfeld where George was like, I'm going to do everything that George wouldn't do. And he ended up getting like a hot babe and a job with the Yankees, and just by saying all these like gnarly things. Yeah. It's like that.
But there's a lot of power in that.
Yeah.
We're I don't know. Anytime like somebody's like, everyone says the same shit when they go up and they win an award. If you just believe in yourself, if you just keep working, if you just have a positive mindset, if you just pick yourself up by the bootstraps, you know, it's like, but you hear it so many times that it's like you stop listening, you turn off. But if you follow all those things, you stop limiting yourself, you do have a positive outlook, you start saying yes a little bit more, you're open to change, things start changing.
Yeah.
You start changing because you allow those things to happen. to yourself.
Yeah.
You start working for the Yankees. You get a hot babe.
Yeah.
How'd she end up dying? She choke on something?
What was that? I don't remember. Yeah.
But
Dude, man, sometimes I think my fault right now is I stress people out around me, like my managers say, because sometimes I fly a little too fast and loose. I'm like, Ed, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. I'm like, what do you mean we'll figure it out? We need a plan right now. And I'm like, yeah, I'll figure it out. And they like lose their mind. But I think, they are right. I am sloppy. They are tight and in control.
Yeah.
But also,
we'll figure it out.
yeah, but it takes some of that to like open, like it's a big risk to open a restaurant, to borrow that much money, to take on those investors. And it took some moment of like, I'll figure this out. I don't quite have everything planned, but I know this will work. I just have a hunch. So I think it's like, I need to be that guy that's like, don't worry about it. And I hire folks who are fastidious about the details. And together,
it's true. I mean, you got to have those multiple personalities to come together and be. That's how you make things work.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If I look big picture, I'm very good at being like, I'll figure it out. I mean, you have to own a business or go into any venture to believe in yourself. Yeah. It's just like there's certain situations that I find myself overthinking or trying to. Do you ever overanalyze a situation where like maybe something happens? I mean, so it's not so broad. A conversation happens maybe with a team member, and you start thinking that like it's going to go a certain way, or the interaction maybe you could have interacted better, and you start trying to figure out the situation, your wheels are spinning, and then like you finally sit down to talk with them, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't even think anything of it." You know, like that. I didn't think it was a big deal. Like, I'm sorry that like you felt that way.
Yeah, totally.
That was like a small version of what I'm talking about. But.
Yeah. I mean, I often feel like I'm speaking a different language, or me and this other person are speaking a different language and worrying about two different things.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about, you mad at me at this thing? And they didn't even clock it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Because you're like, because I'm mad at you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. How's your turnover?
Dude, it's pretty good. For first 2 years, we had like absolutely no turnover. And then we lost one of the biggest legends at Hot Tongue, Chris. And then kind of just had like somebody else moved. And then this last summer was fucking the craziest hiring fiasco we've ever had.
Really?
We could not get. We had 2-3 terrible hires. We have a very good vetting program too.
Yeah.
It's a 4-part interview.
Cool.
Great interviewees. Just not the right fit.
Yeah.
And that was a big learning lesson. And what I turned to is like, how do we make this a place where, I mean, I think it's a great vibe, but how do we make this a place where we can be competitive in pay? Because unfortunately in a capitalistic society, the biggest validation for somebody is a paycheck.
Yeah.
You can be the coolest, fucking sickest place to work, but if you can't help somebody pay rent, they're going somewhere else.
Yeah. I think that's an interesting one. Like, what can a pizzeria do? You know, and like, what do you do for an entry level position? You want to pay as much as you can, like we do.
Well, I've heard some great wages here that people are paying people in San Francisco.
I wonder how sustainable some of the great ones are. So
Me too.
we pay $18.75 plus tips, but our tips are nuts.
Does everyone pool?
Everyone pools. Prep, dishwasher, every single non-managing employee all shares a tip pool.
Okay.
Registered too. It's based on how many hours you worked. And however many hours you worked, you get that percentage
Do you
of
have
the
Toast?
tip pool. Toast.
So is it like the tip management program?
Yeah.
It's so sick.
Yeah, it's great. So our folks who are working full time are walking away with like, just
Big money.
just north of 73,000 a year
That's sick.
to stretch pizza.
Yeah.
Because the tips are crazy. Like, thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
This public that I'm mad at.
Yeah.
Also, you're my lifeblood.
Yeah.
So
So I love you.
yeah. Yeah, that's the walk. That's tightrope we walk. But so I'm still self-conscious. Is that enough? Like, can I pay more? But then I look at what we want to do for the future, and I'd love to keep expanding, but not have to borrow more money to do that. And also, I need safety money in case our hood vent like falls through the roof or something. Like,
you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So I'm always like, okay, like I could, I guess, bonus everyone out some obscene amount of money, I guess, but I'd have no money. Like I wanted more money when I was 25, but I just can't. Gosh, anyone who knows anything about business would just pick what I'm saying right apart and be like, okay, Craig, you're being an idiot. But
well, good thing that most people that listen to this podcast don't know much about business.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Just piece of fun.
These are just people.
Yeah.
That's why they're listening.
That's what I'm talking about. When did you start paying yourself like a decent wage? If you are, I'm sure you are at this point, but like, did you keep it close to the chest for a long time and like just pay yourself dog shit until you really felt secure?
No, I'm still paying myself dog shit.
Okay.
I'm very lucky. My wife is, but it kind of flip-flopped. When I was at Purgatory, I was kind of like the breadwinner is what they say.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that term come from? Is that problematic?
Yeah.
Breadwinner. I feel like that's probably a problematic.
Careful,
yeah.
I don't know, but careful.
Careful, brother. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, but it's flipped. I'm so lucky. My wife has continued to excel in her career, but I make dog shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, full transparency, I'm in a lawsuit with my partner at Purgatory, and so it hasn't generated the same things that it used to. So there's been this huge balance in life, but I think you still, just because times are tough doesn't mean fair goes out the window, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I heard this thing about David Lynch talking about life and death, and like I don't know if it was AI. You never know what's fucking real anymore. Yeah. But he said that like you live and die, and you live and die, and live and die, and then maybe you transcend. And it's dependent. It's a beautiful idea. It's like religion, on the way that you treat your fellow man. And it's tough because as a business owner, the accountability is always on you. If you're running the books, if you're doing all this stuff, you have to be transparent. I know there's like a lot of people that are making a shit ton of money that could probably pay people more, and they aren't. But what is fair?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a hard line to walk, man. Like I was a line cook like a minute ago, like not very long time ago is what I'm saying. And so I'm approaching this business ownership from a line cook's point of view, who wishes they were making some more money, who felt underappreciated, overworked, sacrificing your body, burning yourself massively just so someone else can make money.
Yeah.
Busiest night, like the busier the night, the harder your night is and the more money someone else makes. Like that was my hang up as a line cook. So I'm approaching this business that way, and I'm like really trying to advocate for my employees because I was you like a second ago.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to do anything that, but as I get more mature as a business owner, I'm like, okay, well, like, there is a cap to that. These are entry level jobs. Keep that in mind. There's a supply and demand thing. And I'm not certainly not trying to lowball anyone. I would need to make sure that a living wage is made. Like if that 75 number ever wasn't met via tips, I'd probably start paying. I want you making that much money if you work for me, because I need you to have a good life, because I need you coming in here happy and fresh and like not sour or like your car, you can't fix your car. And, like, dude, like I'm still kind of here, but like it was those moments where your car breaks down and you're just fucked. Like there is a time where you make a little bit more money than poverty, and all of a sudden you can like get a brake job when you need it. That's a huge thing. Or you can walk around the grocery store and shop and not have to analyze every price and do the cost breakdown.
Yeah, you're getting the good catch up.
You can grab what you want.
Yep.
And just walk out the store and not like look at your bank account right before and right after, or like those moments when you have to check your balance and you're just like, I don't want to check my balance. I don't want to, fuck, -13. Okay, here we go. Like like, yeah, that's how I spend most of my life. And like, I just don't want people working for me in that position. That's what's important to me. Because I had to quit jobs because of that. Like we were talking about Atelier Cren, like great job. But the financial stress of having to live that life was too much. And at some point, like, I was like, I have to like pay my rent. I can't not pay a rent for another month here. They're going to kick me out. Like,
Yeah.
So that was that.
But you have that experience, like, which is an important experience. It's perspective, and so some people open up restaurants without any perspective of that.
Right.
You know,
like
and
first,
so
yeah.
So that can dictate what's fair. You've been in the position. You've not been able to maybe fix your car, or like been negative 30, 31, 300, seen the red in your bank account.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't have that perspective, then what they pay their employees is going to be different, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then what is fair? I move off of emotion. And if I ever got a business coach, they'd probably be like, dude, you need to fucking chill out.
Yeah.
You know what? You can put your emotion on your podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come back and let's do the books.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Here's what needs to happen.
But
yeah.
I don't even know I don't even know if that's what I'd want. I want to have the connection. To me, the most important part about being a business owner is being able to have a team. I don't use the word family. Family is not the word to use.
Right. I thank you.
Family, you are
We're
not
family.
a fucking family.
No.
That's fucking cheesy.
Yeah.
Dude. You're not
Yeah.
a fucking family. You know what a family is? A family is blood. A family is somebody that, like, whether they hate your guts or not, like, you're gonna see
Yeah.
that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Work can be like that, but that's just a toxic workplace. If it's that way, somebody needs to get fired or like be talked to. You can like work should be a place that is fun. Family is not always fun.
Yeah.
So, but to be able to be a person that signs a paycheck, that can make sure that somebody can get their car fixed, that somebody can come to you and be like, I need help. Not everyone gets that either. And to be a force for good in somebody's life when maybe they're hitting rock bottom, because the restaurant industry also breeds some crazy fucking people, me
Yeah.
being one of them.
Yeah.
I've been helped out before. It's important, and people should not take it lightly.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so funny. I'm just kind of taking stock of the stuff we talked about in this conversation. And it's just such an interesting mirror in front of my face of like, this is the stuff you're thinking about right now, Craig. Like we didn't nerd out about pizza, nerd stuff. We didn't talk about too much in the realm of pizza.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I feel a little removed from that in these past couple months. And I'm dealing with this other like bigger stuff, I guess, like
Yeah.
businessy stuff
Yeah.
and public stuff. And
Yeah.
it's just interesting.
Well, it's big.
Yeah.
I think we touched on it. Like pizza, naturally, it's like it can be personal, and
Yeah.
I think it starts out being like the most fun part, but it's everything that happens when this gets built,
Yeah.
when the articles get written, when the people start coming.
Yeah.
Those are problems that you're never prepared for, mentally, physically. I'm almost 40. I can barely fucking bend down.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this has been an incredible conversation.
Thanks, dude. Ditto. Yeah, it's been super fun.
Like I've slid into your DMs. You don't know me.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, let's do a PM so we can have like a couple wines.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like,
Now we're
I think
talking.
I already like this dude, and this is gonna be a good conversation. Also,
Yeah.
I think this is what happens when you drink 2 bottles of wine on air. So you're welcome, and more people should We'll do a couple more PMs if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Investors, don't worry. We're doing good over here. Like, I'm together. I'm keeping it together. I'm running a good business, I promise you. Yeah.
But like, I don't know. You never know with people. Like, dude, you are having a moment. You had a moment when you had the shipping container. Like, do you ever get scared that like that hype train slows down, and then because you're talking about like, boom, boom, boom. I talked to Brandon. He's like, we're good. I talked to Brandon the next week. He's like, we need more help. You know, like,
Yeah.
is that a fear of yours?
Yeah. I just think I have such a core idea of what a successful business requires that like I'm ready to pivot towards. I'm ready to pivot to accommodate the environment at any moment. So right now we're in like hype mode. Very grateful. It's awesome. So we're scaling up. We're trying to accommodate. But let's say it dies down and the hype's gone and people stop traveling from afar. It's like, cool. I have this really clear idea of how to be a good business that services our community only.
Because that was always the intent.
It's always the intention. It's like, all I have to be is that, you know? And let's say it really slows down. It's like, well, then the community really wants slices and lunch. Like we'll have the bandwidth to do that. Like,
because you have the space for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
You're in a good position.
I feel like confident, like, knock on wood, but like I'll know what to do.
You will know what to do.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, what we talked about before. I don't have a plan, but like we'll figure it out. You know, like
I think that's what this episode is gonna be called.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah,
let's end it there.
that's a good end.
Yeah.
Tight.
I hope you enjoyed that episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you so much.